Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Josh, and as you can see, we are trying something new. Let me get to the comment section here. I'm hoping this is live. If anybody's out there and they can see me, um, post a little comment in the comment section. We are back with another um, class in reading biblical Hebrew. Let me just turn on. There we go. So we just downloaded StreamYard. So we are trying StreamYard for the first time. So hopefully there are people out there. Hopefully it's coming through. I'm just going to proceed as if it were. Okay. Maybe I should check. That's okay. Yeah. Let me just pull it up and see. How do I do that? Let's see. Yep. It says we're live. Very good. And I look like a doofus sitting there on the screen. Okay. Well, I can't see any comments if you guys are commenting. They're not coming through. So if you do have comments, if I can figure out how they work. Okay, nobody's commenting. So very good. I'm just going to move on. If you do have questions as we go through this, please put them in the side chat. I should be able to see them here and I can actually put them up on the screen now. So StreamYard looks like it's going to be really nice and easy. So quick intro to what we're doing. Oh, there we go. So Malachi Walker, you are our first commenter. Yay, go Hebrew. Okay. Now that we're all set, you guys hopefully can hear me all right. We are going through biblical Hebrew. We're doing a bit of grammar, and then after we do some grammar, we do some reading in biblical Hebrew. We've been kind of shifting back and forth between reading from the biblical text itself, the Hebrew Bible, and reading from the book. Let me just pull it up here. Sorry, everybody. Reading from the book. The first Hebrew Primer, 3rd edition. And they have some really excellent exercises. The link should be in the description, but they have some excellent exercises that you can use. And we have been going through the fairy tale version, the biblical Hebrew version of the fairy tale Jack and the Beanstalk. So we'll continue with that this week. But before we do, I wanted to just go over a little bit of grammar because Hebrew grammar is always exciting. So let me switch to. I got to share screen. That's what I got to do. Screen 2, share. Boom, there it is. So hopefully this should work out okay. I think the text is probably big enough for you guys to read it. Hi, buddy. Hi. Oh, you coming in here to give me my watch? Okay, very good. You want to come say hi? Come here, come say hi. Come here. Oh, okay. Oh, he's not going to come say hi. All right. Love you. Okay. So let's read through, do a little bit of grammar. The grammar that we're using is Chung Leong Seao's A Grammar of Biblical Hebrew. I don't use this exclusively, but sort of as a guide. I think it's actually a really good resource. So do pick that up. We're not going to go through everything that he says, but we are in lesson 7 if you're following along. All right, so he begins in lesson 7 to talk about the adjective. Now, if you remember, the adjective, let's see, how do I do this well? If you think about, I guess we can do this. Masculine, feminine, singular, plural. So there is no masculine singular ending. There is a feminine singular ending. It's either going to be a or some form of tav. And the plural ending is going to be im, and feminine plural is going to be ot. Sorry if you can hear Oliver. He is very upset. It's nap time, and I guess he doesn't want to go to sleep. Um, man. So that would, I promise. He just needs to go to sleep. So that means that if you have, let's say, the word tov, then the feminine would be tova. So there's your ending. Then I guess I should have moved this up. So tov, tova, tovim, and tovot. Um, oh, this is a bad time for him to be this upset. So this, I think she's taking him back upstairs. I'm not sure. Sorry, everyone. So, okay, if we look at different adjectives, so gadol is big. You would expect to see gadola, right? Because you're just gadola. So you're ending for the feminine singular. But as we all know, if you, as we've been doing our reading and going through, when you have open syllables early on and you have long vowels in those open syllables, oftentimes those vowels will reduce. So if you remember our rule is we go to an open pro-protonic syllable. And what that means, very simply, that's where the tone is, that's where the accent is. So it's gadola. So the pre-tonic, the syllable before the tonic, the syllable with the tone, is here. And then the pro-protonic is the one before the one before the tone, pro-pretonic. Anyway, fancy ways of saying these things. So if you have a pro-protonic syllable that is open, which we do here, and we have a comets or a tsere in it, then we reduce it. So grab my eraser. Oh, it reduces to shava. So instead of saying gadola, the long A in the beginning, you kind of rush over it. And as a matter of fact, if you look over here, can you guys see my mouse? Let me see. Yes, good. You look right here, there it is. Gadola. So notice the shava. Instead of gadola, you get gadola here. This is going to be nice. Okay. So what else? Sorry. So gadol, gadola, and then as you might expect, gadolim and gadolot for the feminine plural. So tov, tova, tovim, tovot, gadol, gadola, gadolim, gadolot. These are the the adjective forms. So tov, of course, is good. Gadol is big. He does kaved. So let's do kaved, just so we get some experience with this. So kaved means heavy. So kaved, if we put, let's just write it out full. The ending on for the feminine singular, as you would expect, open propotonic syllable will reduce. Oops. So let's just do that. Kveda. Other examples. I mean, we'll just go through the whole paradigm. So kaved, kaveda, kavedim, and kavedot, right? Kavod, kaveda, kavedim, kavedot. Again, the repetition is sort of key. If you just kind of read through these adjectives over and over again, you'll kind of get the pattern. Zakanes, kanaz, kanims, kanot. Zakane is old. What other examples here? Ra'ev, re'eva, re'evim, re'evot. So ra'ev is like hungry. Malay is full. So malay, malayah, malayim, malayot. Okay, kind of get the idea. Yeah, yashar is the same. Okay, let's talk about. So if you think, this is very nice. So Jane says, this is the first time I'm in a live chat with your channel and seeing this series. What made you start these lesson videos? Thank you. It's really great to have you, Jane. If that was a question, what made me start? I like teaching ancient languages. So we have a Sumerian series. If you want to check that out, if you want to learn ancient Sumerian, you can. We have a full series. And then I wrote a book to go along with it. Megan and I wrote a book to go along with it. Learn to read ancient Sumerian. But yeah, so we like teaching these languages, so I decided to teach Hebrew. Okay, so there are other adjectives. So Rav, like many. So in Ezekiel 26, you get the many nations, Goyim, Rabim. We'll talk about how adjectives work here in a minute, but you see the word Rav, many. So he goes through all the forms. Okay. Nothing really surprising here necessarily. Remember, this comes from the root. This is a geminate. So this comes from the root Ravav, Resh Beit Beit, but it doesn't usually show the two baits. It just puts them together. So that continues in the adjective Rabbah. So if you remember, if we were going to syllabify, if we're going to syllabify this, we do it that way. One bait is going this way to close that CVC syllable, consonant vowel consonant, and then one is coming this way to open this syllable. That's how geminates work. So you get the dagish here in the middle radical, doubling the bait. So Rav, Rabbah, and if you would expect Rabim and Rabot. So feminine or masculine plural and feminine plural. Let's see. We should probably do one. Let's do one with a guttural. So chazak, strong. He does this one, I think. Yeah. Okay. So let's put the feminine ending on. Chazaka. Well, if we go through our process of syllabification, we come here to this open proprytonic syllable and we try to reduce it. What's going to happen? Well, we try to put a simple shava there, but if you remember, the gutturals and resh, well, the gutturals in particular, tend to not like simple shavas. So what you end up getting here is a composite shava. Chazaka. So chazak, chazaka, chazakim, chazakot. And okay, third haze. So kashe. Kashe is like hard, difficult. Trying to think of a sentence to use, but it's okay. So kashe is hard, difficult. You remember third haze are interesting. They often will take, different. They'll do different things because a hay is weak. It's a weak radical. So kashe, we often say that the hay drops off, it gets demolished, it gets, if you think about the word melech, right? And we wanted to say the king, we'd say ha-melech. But if we wanted to say to the king, we would just, the hay would drop out, or it would get, demolished, destroyed by that lamed. It would just drop out. So you get la melech, to the king. Well, the same sort of thing is true here. Remember, our ending for the feminine singular is a. So let's just do this. And we're trying to add the feminine singular ending a. And what happens is it essentially cancels out that ending. And so what you get instead of kashe, the a just replaces it. Kashe, kasha, and the same continues. Kashim and kashot. Kashe, kasha, kashim, kashot. Other adjectives, a very common one is yafeh, like handsome. Can also be beautiful if it's in the feminine. So, hu yafeh, he yafa. So yafeh, yafa, yafim, yafot. Same principle here. Yafeh, that drops out, and you get yafa, then yafim, and yafot. So yafeh, yafa, yafim, yafot. Yes, third haze. Okay, so let's talk about the use of the adjective. How does it actually work out in a sentence? So there are kind of three different ways that you can see adjectives, and this is kind of common among different languages. So let's use that adjective yafeh. If we wanted to say he is handsome, we would say who. Remember, who is he? He is she. No, how does it go? Ma is who is he is she. Remember that? I'll do it again. Ma is, sorry, not ma, gosh. Me is who? Oh, Jesus Christ. Me is, in English, who, and then who is he, and then he is she. It only works if, you can straighten it all out in your head. So me is who is he is she. Okay. But and dog is fish. Yes. I don't know that that's true, but all right, so Why was I saying that? Oh, right. So if I wanted to say, um, oh, Dalit Gimel, yes. So Malachi Walker's pointing out that Dalit Gimel, I don't know if it's, I think it's with the comments. Dog means fish. So dog means fish. That's how you say fish. So in Jonah, the thing that swallows him is a dog gadol, so a big fish. Okay. Um, right. So there are three different uses of the adjective. There is an attributive adjective. There is a all right. There's attributive. There's predicate, predicative, and substantival. So let's make that into easier to understand English. If I wanted to say the good man, so let's just do that in English. The good man, right? The good man, something. The good man walks. The good man eats, whatever. The good man is sitting at the table. This adjective here is attributing some characteristic to that noun. Like it's attributing to him. Sorry, I'll turn my ringer off. Skylar texted me. Clearly he's not watching. I'm just kidding. It's probably work. But good, that quality, good, is being attributed to the man. So this is an attributive adjective, right? So if I were to say the big, red, fluffy dog, I don't know. The big, red, fluffy dog, big, red, and fluffy would all be attributive adjectives talking about the dog, right? Now in English, they all come before the noun. So if we wanted to say, um, a good man, ish tov. So, I mean, you'd have to see a whole sentence to know if this is an attributive adjective. But if the sentence is ish tov, I don't know, holech. Oops. Ish tov holech. A good man is walking. If there was like a period there. A good man is walking, right? This would be an attributive adjective because it's attributing the characteristic, the quality of goodness or whatever um to ish, to the man. So it's an attributive adjective. However, if we were to say ish tov, goodness, sorry, period, ish tov, this would be a predicate adjective. We would be saying a man is good, right? Because that's all we have in the sentence, right? That would tell us that this is an attributive adjective. Sorry, not attributive, a predicate adjective. And notice the reason we use predicate is because if you remember um, if you remember your English grammar, predicate is the thing at the end of the sentence, the verb and everything else that comes with it. So the this is part of the predicate of the sentence, or a man is good. So I've been using. Let me say it a different way. How do you tell the difference between those? Well, often it's context that tells you, right? But there are some ways that you can actually determine it. For example, if I said ha'ish, this definite article, you can only make if you were going to put tov after this and you wanted to make it an attributive adjective, if you wanted to make it say the good man, you would have to write. I need to make these smaller. Sorry. Ha'ish ha tov. Ha'ish hatov. That would be, if we were to translate this sort of woodenly, we would say the man, the good one, the good man. This is an attributive adjective. They match. They have to match in their definiteness. However, if we saw, so in that case, we would know this is the good man. However, if we saw, I should just use the examples that he uses. Ha'ish tov. Well, now we don't have the definite article here, so we know this is a predicate. They don't match, so it has to, be separated from it by a linking verb, right? The man is good. Ha'ish tov. The man is good. Right. So, stupid whore energy. She says Moses is old. So we'd say Moshe Zaken. Now, Moses is definite. You wouldn't say like a Moses because that's a person. It's a proper noun. So this is Moses is old. The kings are evil. So, oops, sorry. Hamelachim Rashaim, I would think. Is that the adjective that I would use for evil? Yeah, let's do one that I know is correct. Oops, it does not look like a resh, does it? Ra'im. So Ra'ah. Hamelachim Ra'im. The kings are evil. But notice you had the definite article on Melachim, on kings, and you had he does use these examples. Okay, so he says Ish Tov, a good man, Ha'ish Hatov, the good man. Yeah. So same examples that we just gave. So one of the things that he points out is that word order, while it usually is, the noun and then the adjective, sometimes Hebrew can switch the word order up for emphasis. So you can say, if you saw Tov, Ha'ish, this is still the man. The man is good, but it's probably emphasizing good. So Tov Ha'im. So that's something to take note of. What else? And yes, there is a third kind. So the word chacham, which is like wise. Chacham, if it's by itself, it can be like a wise person, a wise one, right? It can also be, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it sounds like Oliver is dancing upstairs, and that's probably a path back there. But anyway, ha. It's nice and fun to say. Uh, the wise person. So that's a substantive. So like if you were to say the good, the bad, and the ugly, that's always the example that we get in English. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's the good person, the bad person, and the ugly person. It's probably all referring to the same person. I haven't seen the movie, but the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, it's hechacham. Sorry, hechacham, not hachacham. So we talked about how they have to match. They have to match not only in, definiteness, like you can't say if they're going to be attributive, they can't, one have the definite article and one not have the definite article. However, they also have to match in number. So you saw earlier, sorry, melachim. What did we say? Ra'im. Notice that both of these are plural. So this is a predicate adjective. The kings are evil. However, if we wanted to say the evil kings, just gotta make these smaller. Hamelachim ha ra'im. Poor kid. I can't tell if you guys can hear him or not. But notice they not only match in definiteness, right? So we have two definite articles there. They match in number. So they're both plural. And they're both masculine. So they have to match in gender, number, and, definiteness. So hamelachim, you couldn't have hamelachim ha-ra'ot. That wouldn't work. It has im. They have to match in gender. Now, that brings up an interesting point because there are, does he give examples of this? Where are they? I thought he did. Right. So you have to know, I guess, the word for city is ir, and it's a feminine. It doesn't have like an ending on the noun, but it is considered feminine because when you see an adjective with it, it's in the feminine form. So a good city. Notice this is for feminine singular, which means this is gendered feminine singular, or it's feminine. So you would have, I think, arim. Yeah, right. Arim. It's a irregular plural. Arim. What's the adjective that he gives here? Is it? No, it's okay. It's gadol. You would expect it to be gadolim, right? But you don't get that. You get gadolot. And that's because this is an irregular plural, arim, just like isha, nashim, even though it's feminine plural. So isha is woman, nashim is women. Even though it's feminine plural, you get a masculine looking ending. And the same thing is true here. So arim is feminine plural, even though it's im on the end. I keep forgetting I can use this. Even though it's im here, you get the true, the gender, I guess, shows up in the adjective form. So oat is a feminine plural, telling you this is considered a feminine word. Okay. I think we can. All right, he's going to go through a couple more things. I guess we can go through them too. The use of min. We've talked about this before, but the adjective min, the preposition min means from or out of something. So min ha'ir would be from the city. So ani holech min ha'ir, I'm going from the city, away from the city. However, there is a comparative use of this. So if you wanted to say, um, if you wanted to say, um, what I am better than, or he is better than, or he is, well, I'm just going to use the example that he, instead of trying to come up with one. Okay. Right. That's not a good one. That's fine. Okay. So the word devash, I think it's a comments. God, my eyes are amazing. Where'd it go? No, it's not. It's Pathak. Devash is honey. And man, I wrote it too close. Sorry. The word matok is sweet. So one of the I learned matok actually really quickly or really early on when I learned modern Hebrew or started to learn modern Hebrew because the word cake showed up for some reason. Anir would say uga metuka, I want sweet cake, right? Or uga te'ima, I want tasty cake. You had two people, David and Yael, sitting in a, I don't know if they were in a restaurant, but he was saying, Anita would say, uga metuka. And she said, lo toda, Anita would say, rak maim, or maim mineralim. I only want mineral water. No thanks, I only want mineral water. I don't know why I said all that. Anyway, so if we wanted to say sweeter than something, so if we wanted to say, let's take our two words here, dvash, which is honey, and we wanted to say sweeter than honey, what we would say is sweeter min. So it's sweet away from honey, if that makes sense. So in other words, min has this idea of like being separated out from, coming out of, right? So when they say it's sweet away from honey, we translate that sweeter than honey. And oftentimes what you get, instead of min being separate from that, you would get mid dvash. So matok mid dvash. It would just, be attached. So sweeter than honey, sweet away from honey. And actually, I think I'm looking over at the text. I thought we got some uses of that in this. Maybe not. Anyway, you get this in Genesis 3 with, the Nachash is Arum, I think, clever, away from, right? Min, the the animals of the field. Good question here. What is the difference between ancient Hebrew and modern Hebrew? That's a good question. They're actually very similar. Probably there were some pronunciation differences in ancient Hebrew. It's difficult to reconstruct at times how words were pronounced, but actually, there's an awful lot of similarity. A lot of verbal forms, syntactical constructions change. Different vocabulary developments. So you have words for like electricity and um, car, those sorts of things. But no, it's actually very similar. There are a lot of sort of ancient or outdated, whatever, verbal forms that aren't used anymore. Um, but yeah, it's a good question. Dr. Danny Benguigui said to me one time that if King David, what he said was if King David were born today, if he were reborn today, it would take him a few days to pick up all the new vocabulary, but he should be pretty good. So, one of the things that you got to be careful of, and it's not a huge thing, but just to note it, like for example, the word uga that I've been using. I think it's got a short. Uga is cake. So I've got a Big Bird Sesame Street book that I read to Paige when she was a kid, and Big Bird bakes. I think it's Big Bird bakes a cake. Ugat Yom Huledet, so a birthday cake for Oscar the Crouch, and Uga cake. When you see cakes being made in the Hebrew Bible, you don't want to picture a birthday cake, right? So those are the sorts of things you have to kind of be careful of. Okay, almost through the chapter. I think we'll stop after this. The word me'od. So, yeah, I don't think we have to talk about that too terribly much. Me'od means very or exceedingly. We'll see it actually here in the story. So I think we can go ahead and move over to the story. So tell me in the side chat, can you guys see the text? Is it large enough? Or do we need to do something else? Because I could hide myself and do this, which would make it a little bigger. I don't know if that would be beneficial. But let me know. It is too small. Ugh. Okay. So I gotta figure out, I guess, how to work around that. I can get rid of this. No, that's wrong. Somebody said it. Dora says I can't read it, but it's not a font size problem. All right. I guess maybe what we can do. Yeah, I don't know a good way to beat this problem. Oh, so Anonymous says, אתה מדבר מצוין, תודה רבה. זה נחמד מאוד. It's very, very nice of you. Okay, so I don't know what to do here. I guess let's try this. That maybe makes it a little bit bigger. If it's still not big enough, I can like take this away while I read this, or maybe I can zoom in or something. But let's try it. So Vayehi Laila, Vayehi Boker, Vayakom Yaakov, Vayar Etz Gavoa Meod Al Yad Betam. Make it a different color. I don't know how to make it a different color. V'ha'etz ole ad hashamayim. Maybe we'll do that. Let's try this. So I can come back like this. This is going to be a little tedious, but how's that? Okay, so here, Vayhi, We all know this, and it came to pass, right? We could also say, depending on the context, and there was, and it was. So you have in Genesis 1, I think actually we read this, didn't we? Okay, Malachi says much better. Good. So in Genesis 1, Vayhi Erev, Vayhi Voker, Yom Echad, Yom Sheni, Yom Shlishi. So, and there was evening and there was morning. Here we have, and there was night. Oh, the right pane. Yes. Thank you. Stupid or energy says. Oh, you're talking the right pane. Yeah. I love my audience. You guys are amazing. Sorry, that sounded really sarcastic, and I didn't mean it sarcastically at all. That sounded sarcastic, and that was not. I'm just going to be quiet now. Okay, so Vayehi Laila. So, and there was night. Vayehi Boker. And again, I said this last time, I think, because there's there's a vowel sound here that flows into the next word. I would have expected this bait to be spirantized. So I would have expected, as we've seen Genesis 1, Vayehi Voker, but they've put it in here, so I'm not sure why. And there was nighttime and there was morning. Vayakom, Yaakov, and Jacob arose. Remember, so this is from the word kum. So kum is to like get up. When we put that vav, so if we make this into the imperfect form, we get akum, takum, takumi, yakum, takum. And then if we add turn it into a vav consecutive imperfect, vayakum, what ends up happening is the accent shifts this way. I like to think of it as weight, goes on the front. And so it causes the accent to shift. And what happens is this long oo goes to a short OU class vowel. And so you end up with vayakum. And this is that kametz chatuf. So it's not accents here. So it's not, vayakam. It's vayakum. It's that long, short O-ish, U-ish. But it's from kum. And Jacob got up or arose, vayar, and he saw from ra'ah. Notice the hay has popped off in similar fashion that we just saw when you add yakum, when you add this really heavy vav pathak doubling dot. If you were to put that on a like a balance or something, it would get really heavy, and this big shuruk would fly off, and they'd have to replace it with a little o. I don't know. Is that a good way to think of it? The same thing happens with what form am I? Oh yeah. So yar for he will see, and when you put this really heavy pathak doubling dot, oh man, it just pulls that seesaw down, and that third hay just pops right off. Whoa. Right? And so what you end up with is vayar. Vayar. And he looked, or he saw, it's gavoa me'od. Okay. It's gavoa me'od. So eitz is a tree, right? So eitz. And then you have an adjective. Now notice you don't have ha eitz. You don't have the tree. You have eitz, a tree. Then you have an adjective. Gavoa, And remember, this is that furtive patach, furtive pathak, whatever. So it gets pronounced before, like slightly before that final hey. So it's gavoa. Gavoa is tall. Notice that it doesn't have ha before it, so you wouldn't say and he saw. I don't even know what that would be, because that wouldn't make any sense. He saw a tall tree, and then you get this word me'od. We were just talking about this. Me'od. So you'll hear people. I used to say this all the time. Ani, ayef, tired. Me'od, very tired. Ani ayef me'od. Sometimes I would say me'od me'od. Really, really tired. I'm very, very tired. Right? I say that a lot. So here, gavoa. Actually, let's take a simpler one. Tov is good. If you said tov me'od, it'd be very good, right? Exceedingly good. The same is true here. We have eitz gavoa, so a tall tree, a very tall tree. Eitz gavoa me'od. There's another way that you can use me'od, but we'll talk about it here in a second. I'm sorry, this is kind of clunky, guys, but al yad means next to, beside. Beitam. Beitam. So if you remember the form bait, bait means house. If we wanted to put the ending am on for there, this is an object suffix, third plural, third masculine plural for like their house. When we do that, the accent shifts. And sorry, I was trying to read something in the side chat there real quick, but right. So let me stay focused. So bite, when the accent shifts, if we remember this, they call diphthong, aya or ave, that will go to a. So aya will go to a. Oh man, get rid of that. Take my eraser and do that. So aya goes to a. So beitam, and there it is. So instead of saying bayatam, it's beitam. So when he saw, I'm trying to remember what it said, and he saw a very tall tree, al yad, literally on hand, next to, idiomatic expression, beitam, their house. The ha'etz, so if you remember, eitz is what? Tree. It's like a Dora the Explorer episode. What is eitz? Right, tree. Okay. Ha'etz would be the tree. Why is it that we have a comets here? Right. Let's ask the map where we need to go next. Sorry. We want to say a pathak doubling dot, right? Tagesh. But, oh my gosh, what happened? Let's try it again. I don't understand. Why does it keep disappearing? It's because Gutturals and Raish, as you remember, do not like having they don't like being doubled. They don't like having that dagish, that tagesh, the doubling dot there. So what ends up happening is you have this open syllable here, and it's an open syllable. Uh, is an open syllable and it's short, and you can't have a short vowel in an open syllable, so they lengthen it. And we call that, if you remember, compensatory length. Sorry. Lengthening. That's the technical term. We get compensatory lengthening. It's compensating because that, you can't get that doggish. See? Every time I put it in there, it just pops it right back out. Doesn't like it. So you get compensatory lengthening. And of course, you just have the word and of shiva on the word. So 𝑒 and the tree. Here's a cool form, ole. So next week, I think we get into participles. They're very much like adjectives. I'll just go through quickly the form. You're going to go, oh, that looks a lot like an adjective. So ayin lamed hey is like to ascend, to go up. Trying to think of a good example, but I can't. Okay, anyway. So the form of the participle, actually, let's do it in a strong verb first. So shin memresh is to guard. So, oops, let's do it in a different color. O a shomer. So o a is a pretty standard cow active participle or pa'al active participle. Form. Sorry, vowel pattern. So shomer. I should probably keep it. This is really tedious. Shomeret. So shomer, shomeret. Now, have we seen this? I don't know that we have, actually. Remember how I've said it a couple of times that the feminine singular will either be a or a tav. This is one of these cases that you can see it. So here's your tav, right? So this is indicating a feminine singular. So shomer, shomeret. Shomer, shomeret. And then I'll just do this first, so I can not have to switch back and forth. Okay. So let's do this first. If we put our eam ending on, this is what we would get, right? So let's do our, cool little process where we start. Here's where the tone is. Here's where the accent is. So this is the tonic syllable. So if we go to the pre-tonic syllable, then the pro-protonic syllable, right? Our rule in an open pro-protonic syllable, that's this one. Is it open? Open means it doesn't end in a consonant. Yes, it's open because it ends in this vowel, the shorek. So an open pro-protonic syllable, does it have a comet or a tsere? No. If it did, we would reduce it to a shiva, but it doesn't. So then what do we do? What's our next step? Right. We go to an open pretonic syllable. Is it open? Yes. Does it have a tsere? That's the rule. Does it have a tsere? And it does. It has a tsere there. And if it has a tsere, we reduce it to a shiva. So we would get shomerim, shomerim. So shomer, shomeret, shomrim, and shomerot. Shomer, shomeret, shomrim, shomerot. These are the participles, active participles. cal active participles. So why did I tell you all that? Good question. Appreciate you asking. So this is a third hey. If you remember, the third hey will often drop out and be replaced by an ending. So if we made a participle out of this, we would say ole, right? Ole, and oops, a second. Oh, damn it. Ola, just like yafe, yafa, yafim, yafot. Ole, ola. Um, sorry. I'll just do it in black. Sorry. Olim and olot. Right? Ole, ola, olim, olot. So that third hey has dropped out. So now when we come back over here and we see ole, this is a cal active participle, masculine singular, from ayin, ayin lamed hey, to go up, to ascend. All right. So ani ole, here it's v'ha'etz ole. So and the tree. Now, participles are interesting. We'll talk about this next week. But participles are interesting because what they do is, if you think about past, present, and future, perfect verbs can be different things, but they're generally just past tense verbs. Participles, or future will be like in the future, could be a point in time in the past, a point in time in the future. But participles have this this aspect, this nuance, this I don't know what else to call it. Aspect and nuance are the other things I can think of continuous action, right? So continuous action. So it's like you're taking a video clip. That's what participles do, generally speaking. Not always, but often when they have that, they're more verbal. I'm trying to think of a better way to say that. I can't. So here, what is the tense? Like, what are we in the future here in this story? Yes, this stream will be available to rewatch. William Leighton Dawson asked if it will be available to rewatch. Yes, it'll be on the channel under the playlist Biblical Hebrew or Learn Biblical Hebrew or something like that. So here, this story, we're in the past, right? We're talking about things that happened in a fairy tale, right? So that means that this continuous action is going to be in the past. So we would translate it was going up, maybe. V'ha'etz ole, it went up, or it was going up, ad hashamayim. Ad hashamayim. Ad is until or to, and then hashamayim. Shamayim. Don't let anybody tell you when they're reading through Genesis 1, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim, that heavens has to be like an idea of plurality there, like multiple heavens. Shamayim is just like the sky, the heavens, or heaven. It's just a plural form. It's like pants, trousers, right? It doesn't mean there's two of them. Certain words have a plural form. Anyway, don't really need to talk about that. Ha-shamayim, a perfect doubling dot, which explains that. Ad ha-shamayim, to the heavens, or it went up until the heavens. It went up to the sky, right? We know Jack and the Beanstalk thing goes all the way up in the sky. So the ha'etz ole ad hashamayim, and the tree like was going up, ascending until the sky, up to the heavens. So ha'etz, is that, did I miss that? Okay, good. Okay. Ha'etz gavoa mikol ha'etzim. This really is clunky. Asher ra'a Yaakov ad hayom hahu. So, okay, this is great. This is a good example. So sorry. So Stupid Horror Energy asked the question. Yeah, like those King James only people that say heavens is incorrect. It's not. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's not. It's, you know, heavens. It's not. I wouldn't. Yeah, like I guess what I would say is I wouldn't read into the plurality. At least, as you say, it's incorrect or correct. It's a translation choice that they've made. But yeah. Right. So cursor go. The tree gavoa. So what do you see here? Ha'etz, the tree. So we have the definite article here, compensatory lengthening, because the ayin won't take that dogish. And then we have our adjective, which we've seen. Where is it? There it is. Gavoa. Does it have the definite article? No. Okay. So what does that tell us? This is acting as a predicate adjective. So if it were an attributive adjective, if it were trying to say the tall tree, it would have to be ha gavoa, ha'etz hagavoa. In order for them to go together like that, you'd have to have the definite article and the definite article, or you'd have to have it the same there. But because it's not, gavoa here is acting as a predicate, and because of the time, the tense in which we're speaking here, ha'etz gavoa, the tree was tall, right? Linking verb, but it's past tense here, so the tree was tall. Mikol ha'etzim. So let's talk about this. Kol, kol or yeah, kol, all, every. Then we have this me before it. So this is min, right? That word, that preposition min. Well, here we have a really good example of a comparative min, the one that we just talked about earlier on. So it's the tree was tall from all the trees. In other words, it was taller than all the trees. Ha'etzim. Does that make sense? It was taller from, away from. So if I think we did this before, but we had some trees. And then we had this really tall tree up here. We would say this tree is tall min these trees. It's tall away from, out of those trees. It's taller than those trees. Okay. Ha'etz gavoa mikol ha'etzim asher. So asher is which. In modern Hebrew and in later biblical Hebrew, you'll get she instead of asher attached to a word, but here asher, which is which or that. It's a relative pronoun. Ra'a Yaakov ad hayom hahu. So ra'a is to see. Ra'a. So cow perfect, third masculine singular from Resh Aleph Hey. And the subject is Yaakov. So which Jacob probably here had seen. It's past tense, but probably pluperfect is fine here. Had seen ad hayom hazeh. Ad is until, hayom, the day, and then you have hahu. So hahu. Remember, me is who is he is she. So who is the English word he. But it can also be that. What's a good way to? I can't think of a good way to remember that right now. But who can be like that, he or that one. And that's how it's being used here. So what we have is hayom, hahu, the day, that one, that day. So this is acting as an attributive adjective. So which Jacob had seen until that day. So it was bigger than all the trees. I'm trying to remember how it went. Bigger than all the trees that Jacob had seen until that day, like up to that day, which of course makes sense in our context. How are we looking on time? 1:12. We've got about 15 minutes. Okay. Vaya'al Yaakov al ha'etz ad asher ba el sha'arei hashamayim. Okay. I guess I can scroll down a little. So Vaya'al, if we remember, Allah means to ascend or to go up. A'aleh, ta'aleh. Is our form. Right. And if we put this, if you remember our thing, if we put this very heavy Vav Pathak doubling dot, it falls. This goes this way, and that hey pops right off. Whoa. I should have made that smaller as it went. Oh well. And you end up with Vaya'al. And that's the form that we have here. So it's a cow, Vav consecutive imperfect, third singular from Ayin Lamed Hey. And Jacob went. So here's Yaakov. Jacob went on the tree, right? Upon the tree. He ascended upon the tree. Ad, until. And ad asher is sort of idiomatic. It's like until that which, but until which, maybe which time, but anyway. And until ad asher, until, you can probably just say ba. So a cow perfect. They're masculine singular. We don't have to go through that whole pair time. Bati, bata, bata. Anyway. But ba, until he came, third masculine singular. El sha'are. So sha'ar is like a gate. Oops. She'arim, plural. And then if we wanted to say, where'd it go? Yeah. If we wanted to say the gates of Sha'are. So the gates of, this is in that plural construct form. The gates of Hashamayim. El is 2. So he goes up this thing until he comes, or until he came to the gates of heaven. If you have questions, I know I've said this before, but if you sorry, it was a funny comment it's a good question in the side chat. So wait, I can't click that. I have to do that here. Okay. All right. So vayar. So vayar v'hine derech lefanav. Nice short sentence here. So I know we keep going over this, but ra'ah is to see. And if we put this vav pathak doubling dot, again, the hey pops off. And we get vayar, vayar. And he looked, the hine. Hine is one of these. Hine is one of these words that you'll learn. I think I said this maybe last week, but you learn it as behold. And it actually, if you watch, what's the name of their channel? I can't think of their name now. That's so terrible. Lawrence is his name, but I can't remember the name of his channel. Sorry, trying to remember it. Like, yeah, I'm just sitting here silently like a doofus. But they do, every time they see the word behold, they'll say, behold, behold. And, that's translating. It used to be sort of a wooden thing that every time you would see hine, this word right here, every time you'd see hine in the Hebrew Bible, that they would translate it behold. But we don't do that now. It's actually rather nuanced. It's fine. Milwaukee Atheist. Thank you. Haley's fake name. Milwaukee Atheist. I love this StreamYard thing. It's really nice. So, but here it's something that draws attention to the reader, or draws attention. It's saying to the reader, pay attention to what, like, look at this. Pay attention. Here, behold is probably, I mean, it would be really old fashioned to say it, but so, and he looked, and can you believe it? Maybe a road or a path, derech lefanav, in front of him. So, yeah, I mean, you can always say, behold. I don't think anybody will. Well, I guess after a little while translating Hebrew in class, they might get on you for just saying behold, but for now it's fine. Just say behold. And we'll just look at it each time in the context and kind of get the nuance of it. But it's like, it's supposed to be sort of an emotional response, maybe, to the reader. It's like, oh, wow, a road in front of him. Okay. Lifnei. is before or in front. If the third, the way that you put a third masculine singular on a preposition like this, it's of. So this whole ending of. Ooh, damn it. I did not mean to press that. So lif nay, then of. Okay. And yeah, I mean, we don't have to go through all this why am I blanking? What is the Shiva goes back, it lengthens back to its original comets form, and the Heric there reduces to a Shiva lefanav, lefanav. So that's where that form comes from, lefanav. So, and look, and like he looked and wow, rode, or to his surprise, I don't know. That's probably a little too dynamic, but it's kind of the idea. Rode in front of him. Vayelech vayavo el bait. Oliver's a mess. It's funny. This morning I said something. He was eating his yogurt, and I said, Megan said, "Do you like your yogurt?" And kind of putting words in his mouth like we normally do, or often do with kids. I said, "I'll bit," and he looked at me and he said, "I'll bit." Oliver is 2, in case anybody doesn't know that. So super cute. Anyway, vayelech vayavo el bait. So, and he went from halach, and he came. So remember, halach and bo, you'll see them a lot. We saw them last week in 1 Kings 1, where you kind of get this sort of idiomatic imperative form of halach, come on, go to, maybe. So here, vayelech, I think we can get, well, we've gone through that before. I'm going to kind of get through a little bit more. So, and he went and he came. By the way, if anybody wants me to go over a form that I don't go over, just put it in the side chat and I'll go back to it. And he came. So avo, tavo, yavo. So, and he came to a house, not the house, a house. Gadol me'od. Scroll down a little bit here. So what we end up with is bait gadol me'od. Right? So we know that, well, I don't think we have to go through all the options here, but so this does not have a definite article. This does not have a definite article. Now, that could mean, based just on form, if we didn't have, this down here, we could say maybe this is saying a house is big. That could work on form alone. And actually, I've forgotten the rest of the sentence. Oh, yeah, okay. So, right. So we could say, and he came, and he went, and he came to a house is very big, right? But that doesn't make any sense at all, actually. So we're probably not looking at a predicate here. Remember how I said the context will tell you, very, very frequently, if it is a predicate adjective or if it's an attributive adjective. And here, we're looking at an attributive adjective. It works because they match in gender and in number and in definiteness. So a big house. What kind of a big house? A, me'od, big house. Me'od is very. So a very big house. All right. I think we got time to finish out the paragraph. Vayar b'sha'ar habayit. Okay, so vayar b'sha'ar, good lord, b'sha'ar habayit, isha gdola, probably me'od. Yep, me'od. Okay. Man, this is clunky. Sorry. And he saw in the gate of the house. This is probably good to talk about. We've got time. Okay, sha'ar is gate. Notice that we don't have ba sha'ar. There was no definite article here before the bait came. It's just they're adding the preposition. However, we do have a definite article here, habait, and what this is doing is this is in construct. This, I don't think we've learned construct yet, but it's that word of. It's when you tie two nouns together with the word of, a genitive construction. So when you do that, that word that's in construct cannot be definite, right? Or they won't make it definite. So you won't get ba sha'ar, you'll get ba sha'ar. This is the gate of the house. So he looked in the gate of the house, and he saw in the gate of the house, Isha gdola me'od. So notice Isha, feminine singular, gdola, here's your feminine singular ending from gadol. Notice the vowel reduction here because it's in a propertonic open syllable. See, you guys are going to start saying that in, casual conversations. Yeah, I wonder if that's an propertonic open syllable. It'll reduce if it's a commentary. Please don't ever say that. Or if you do, don't say that Josh told you to do that. So Isha gdola me'od. So here's your me'od again. And he saw in the gate of the house a very large woman who lo ra'ah, he did not see, Cal perfect, third masculine singular from Resh Aleph Hey, he did not see. Oh, okay, we'll probably have to change it. He had not seen ad hayom hahu, up to that day or until that day. Here's your hayom hahu construction again. So this is acting attributively here. He had not seen until that day or up till that day. Bait gadol. Notice that neither of these are definite. So, but again, it's got to be attributive because it can't be a house is big. How would that work in English in the sentence? He had not seen a house is big. So it's a big house. Kaze. So kaze. Ze means this. Ka means like this one. So he had not seen a big house like this one. And actually, given the sentence here, I would probably say this low up here is neither. But it's just a subtle translation. He had not seen this, nor had he seen. But here it's just and, or also, and a woman, a large woman, kazot, like this. So ze, that is the ugliest Zion I think a human has ever drawn. Ze would be this, masculine singular. Zot, notice the tav ending here, showing a feminine. Zot would be this, feminine singular. So ze or zot. So he had not seen a large house like this, and he had not seen a large woman like this one. Okay. Well, that went pretty well. So I I always have fun with these, and I appreciate you guys coming along. And I just looked down to see, man, I hope I hadn't muted myself that whole time, but I hadn't, which is good. So this was fun. This was lesson 8, I believe, in the series. I'm looking over here because this is where the broadcast studio is. So I got to go over there and figure out how to end the stream this way. There it is. Sorry. Just learning how to use StreamYard. But this has been really great, guys. I really appreciate you hanging with me. And if you watch this video, please, if you're here in the live chat now watching it live, please be sure to hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Click the bell icon so that you know when we go live. If you're watching this afterwards, hit the like button also and subscribe. But I don't know why I made it. Just everybody go put a comment in the comment section if you could. That would really help, I think. Not just as, I mean, if you just want to say how amazing it is to have me here, that's great. If you want to put a comment that says, why don't we see more of Megan? Because we really enjoy seeing Megan more than we enjoy seeing you. I totally understand. Go and put that in there as well. Anyway, but please do so. Comment, let us know if you'd like to do something, slightly differently. If you are interested in coming on, it'll be much easier now for me to do that with StreamYard. If you'd like to come on and translate with me, if you're it's probably ideal if you've, gone a semester or two in Hebrew and you kind of want to get some practice, with somebody that's taught Hebrew before, and, it's going to be very relaxed. You can I'll tell you the section that we're going to translate through, and then we'll kind of take turns. You read a section, I'll read a section. We'll talk about the grammar. If you have questions, you can ask. Yeah. Anyway, that'd be fun. So email me, digitalhammurabi@gmail.com, and we'll try to work that out. Okay, everybody. Until next time, resist poor scholarship. Always ask, how do you know that? Thanks, guys.